The Bank of Thailand decides on interest rates as the country battles the worst floods in decades. And a new cabinet in Indonesia. What will it mean for the economy? Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Asia Business Report. I'm Rico Hizon. Thailand central bankers meet later today to decide on the cost of borrowing as the country battles the worst floods in 50 years. With 30% of Bangkok's industrial zone underwater and fears economic growth could be cut by more than 1.5%, will the Bank of Thailand reduce rates or keep them on hold? The disaster has claimed more than 300 lives and has damaged hundreds of factories, affecting supply chains in Japan, China, and Malaysia. For more, I'm joined now in our studios by Santitarn Sathirathai, Thailand economist at Credit Suisse. Santitarn, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, is there a need for the Bank of Thailand to cut interest rates?
We think it's more likely that they will keep rate on hold at 3.5% this time round, because although the growth risk coming from the flood is very real and potentially very serious, I don't think they view necessarily that monetary policy is the best tool to combat the growth risk coming from the floods.
And the best direction is through fiscal policy. That's why the Thai government basically increased its budget deficit by 50 billion baht or $1.5 billion US dollars.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Is that, you think, sufficient?
For a start, I think the two things they need to do really. First, in the short to medium term, they need to invest and rehabilitation of the flooded areas and reconstruction of the damaged infrastructure. That might be enough. But in order to take an extra step to invest in water management infrastructure, they need more money.
And the cost continues to rise
Yes.
because the floods are affecting not only the northern part of the region, but they basically fear that it could also impact Bangkok going forward.
Yep.
50 billion baht is just 0.5%
Yep.
of gross domestic product. But everyone is expecting a reduction, a downgrade of about 1.5%. So there is indeed more money to be put into the economy.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm looking for something like more one percentage point of GDP or more of government to be put in the economy, and I think a lot of that money will come through next year. A lot of them will be focused and geared towards infrastructure investment as well, which is actually a positive thing for the economy.
What about holding off on this salary increase by the Yingluck Shinawat? It's been moved from January to April. Should it be even further down the road in 2012?
Yes, I think that's probably the best way to go is to give more firms a bit more time to adjust in. But in the end of the day, I think really what we need to see is how much the government is subsidizing firms and especially SMEs, which now are triply squeezed, if you like, from the global slowdown, from the floods, and now also higher costs of labor from the wage